China is a carb kingdom. Rice, noodles, porridge, jiaozi, baozi, mantou, wotou, the list goes on and on. Collectively, they're called 主食 or staple foods, and without them, a Chinese meal would not be a Chinese meal. In the next 2 days, I'll be visiting 2 Chinese cities, one in the south, one in the north, with very distinct cuisines to load up on some of their carb-tastic offerings. This is Guangzhou, China's southern gateway to the world. It's a city of skyscrapers, seaports, and sweet, saucy food. But I'm here specifically for all the keto kryptonite in the city. And the journey begins with a good old bowl of rice. There's this general idea that rice is the carb of choice for Chinese people, which isn't wrong, but also not entirely true. These grains are important ingredients in kitchens across the country, but they're not the only starchy stuff on the dining tables. In fact, rice is predominantly consumed in the south, which has a lot of water thanks to its subtropical climate and the Pearl River, creating the perfect conditions for paddies. And around here, rice takes different shapes and forms. This is Tingzaizhou, a true Guangzhou specialty. Now, Tingzaizhou translates to boat porridge, and it's named after these small traditional Chinese boats that used to sell this soup on a lake on the western edges of Guangzhou. Now, this soup has seafood, and seafood is quite prominent in Guangzhou cuisine just because of its proximity to water. It also has pork, tiáo, which is fried dough or fried bread. I see peanuts and cilantro to top it off, and of course, rice. This is chengfen, or rice noodle sheets. It's basically rice flour with water, which is then steamed and filled with all sorts of fillings. It could be vegetables, which is this one, or eggs or meat, or even tiáo. Rice might be versatile and customizable around here, but it takes the backseat to the pride and joy of Cantonese food. Dim sum, say no more. These iconic dishes are the ambassadors of Cantonese cuisine abroad. They could be savory, they could be sweet, they could be meaty, they could be vegetarian, but they're legendary no matter what. Eating dim sum is more than just having a meal. It's a ritual. Usually people would gather around, they would have some tea, they would have these small dishes, and then they would sit down and relax and socialize. Good food, beautiful architecture, and breathtaking night views. Guangzhou really knows how to treat its visitors. Unfortunately, I'm not here for long, and tomorrow we hit the road. Rice reigns supreme in South China, but in the north, wheat takes the cake. I'm in Zhengzhou, the cradle of Chinese civilization and a noodles heaven. No bowl is more famous in Henan than miàn, or stewed noodles, and for a very good reason.
烩面，我们的烩面特殊是咋说呢？我们的面汤跟你的汤不一样，面跟你的面不一样。我们的汤是咋说呢？采用的是内蒙那边的这个山羊，他们羊吃的是这个天然牧草或者是天然泉水。我的面是做到这个手工面，3柔3鲜。
Just look at these hand-pulled noodles, and the broth is made of lamb bones that have been left to simmer for 6 hours. In traditional Chinese culture, noodles symbolize longevity, and around this time of year, noodle-making events are organized locally to mark the national day and wish China a happy birthday. If you prefer your gluten in a bun, not a bowl, Zhengzhou got you covered. These are shuǐ jianbao, or water-fried dumplings. The buns are first pan-fried to give them their signature crispy bottom before water is added for steaming. For breakfast, they're usually served with tang, a quintessential Henanese dish with a lot of black pepper. It's a great way to start the day, or in my case, finish off a very delicious journey.